Hi, my name is Philip Christian, and I'm selling this 1969 Shasta Starflyte. It's uh, it's white and gold. That is the original colors. It's not. This isn't the original color. These are aftermarket paint. But the original colors were white and gold. This thing has been renovated a couple of times. Here in the back there's lots and lots of storage space in this thing, and I'll show it all to you. There is a solar panel up there that I just have laying there. Is not mounted to anything at the moment. I always liked being able to set it anywhere without having to aim it at the sun or getting partial sunlight. The $3,000 price does not include the solar system. It only includes everything else, not the batteries or the solar panel or charger. So it's was painted 2 years ago, and it still looks pretty good. I'll show you the front too. There's a windscreen, or not a windscreen, a sunscreen that goes over a visor is what they called it. It goes over the top right here. This air conditioner is already running. It runs pretty good. And it's got two 20-pound propane tanks, and a brand new jack on there that I just put on there yesterday. Redone logo here. Had to repaint that and make it look chrome again. There's a place right here for the table to go. And if you don't want to mount the table outside, it'll come off with the camper like that. And that's that table right there on the inside. It's got a screen door. This door is not actually original either. It was I think this door was from a RV or something. But it definitely doesn't look original. On the inside, I'll take my shoes off here. It's nice and clean in there now. The inside has been redone. It's the air conditioner out. It gets really cold, but it's also kind of noisy. I remade these cushions right here. Put this heavy-duty fabric on it that can be scrubbed, washed if it gets any stains or anything on it. I added this trap door right here. There's a porta potty, and it looks like there's a next to that porta potty there's a hammock and a camp shower if you ever wanted to use one of those out here. So anyway, there's all that storage underneath that seat, and there's the same thing underneath this seat, only more this bench here. I added this light right here because and that charger port, 12-volt charger port, I added that because at one point there was 5 people sleeping in here, and one of them had to sleep underneath the table. So anyway, there's a storage under this seat too. Only a lot more storage than the other seat because it goes all the way back. I did these curtains myself. Had somebody else mount mounted the air conditioner in a previous restoration. I did the curtains myself, and water. You hook up the water outside. I never did add a hot water tank, but there's a drain that goes straight down underneath, and I have a gray water tank that you hook up to it. If you wanted to use water. Right next to it is a propane stove. Works very well. A microwave. Okay, that brings me to the 120 volt system. The 120 volt system runs the microwave the air conditioner, and these outlets. Any 3-prong outlets, 120 volt outlets, or 110 or whatever it's called, 120, 110, I don't know. And it runs the refrigerator as well. So there is no 12 volt refrigerator. Those things are very expensive and not cold. So if you're ever boondocking, you cannot use the air conditioner or the microwave or the refrigerator. And there's underneath the stove, there's plenty of there's lots of room here to just stuff whatever the heck you need in there. I'll just use it for tools and wiring and whatnot. Underneath the sink, that's where I keep the garbage. That's where the sink drains out and goes into the floor, or under through the floor, and into through a hole and into a gray water tank that you hook up outside after you park. This is the storage underneath the refrigerator. Right here shows your battery output. Right now it's at 13.3 volts. 13.4 is fully charged, so that's almost fully charged right there. 11.7 I think is what is fully discharged. This right here is a very unique power system. See, I have this to run the 12 volt system, this power pack here, and you switch here, push it up to work to use the batteries. See, it says battery right there. Switch it down to use the converter that's built in here. This converter you plug in. It actually plugs into this thing right here that runs all the power and all the 110 volt power, and it has a 30 and can run anything up to 30 amps, which is plenty for everything we got in here. But that's all the 110 power does not run through the converter, so you do not have to worry about you don't have to worry about running running too much, pulling too many amps through this thing, because the 110 does not get pulled through that. Only the 12 volt does. The 110 gets run through this breaker box here, and there's a couple of batteries, the solar power charger. I got instructions on what the beeping means. Everything's hooked up right. I did it all myself. There's some explanation of what everything does in solar power in that box right there. And here's some solar panel brackets in case you ever wanted to mount the solar panel, which I chose not to. And there's the bed. You can call it the bedroom because there's actually I added this bunk up here, which is wood bunk. I'll just lay down here and show you. It's a wood bunk. Here's lights in the bedroom here. Lights right here and here. More curtains. And over on the top bunk, there's a light over here too. The top bunk is very narrow, but it's good enough for 8 to 14-year-old or something like that. It's very narrow, but it's not bad. My 14-year-old used it, didn't mind using it for 2 years. She only complained about how little room she had, but front to back it's just as wide as a what do they call this, a double bed. The one that's larger than a twin but smaller than a queen. I added these 12 volt lights in here, and this 12 volt fan, and charger, USB chargers, and a 110 volt outlet. 110 volt outlet there, and 210 volt outlets there and there. None of the one, like I said before, none of the 110 goes through the converter. None of those go through the converter. So you don't have to worry about running too many amps there. Just, you know, wherever you plug it up, it has to have up to 30 amps to run everything. So make sure, you know, wherever you park this, you got a 30 amp. Got 30 amp plug. But you don't need the 220 volt plug to go into it. You just use a regular plug. I'll show you that if you come look at this thing. But anyway, I guess that's about it. I've been boondocking on this thing for 5 days once, and I did not run out of battery power at any time. I mean, it got down to like 12.1 volts, but I did not run out of battery power at that time. And I had this overhead fan right here running the entire time. When I was asleep, I had the trucker fan over there running. And this magic vent, I think is what it's called. It was very expensive item there. I've redone I've resealed the roof. Right now it needs to be cleaned, but I'll clean it before this thing gets sold. It was resealed 2 years ago, and I haven't had any leaks in it since. So it's pretty good setup I got here. So if you're interested in the thing, give me a call, 205-960-6010.